How's it going, everybody? This is Derek Quick with Count Fortune. As I said yesterday in my video with Sprott Uranium, I thought that it would start to go up with Sprott buying, and it already has. We've seen a pretty big movement already. We'll jump over to my Discord here. We see Sprott Uranium at about 31.50 for the bid, 32 for the ask. And in the past day or so, we were at 30.25 and we're already at 31.50. Now, I'm not one to just want to keep looking at the spot market. It's not the main thing really that matters. It's really the long-term contracts, but this will cause a lot of eyes to start to look at uranium, utility companies possibly to start looking. But in this video, I actually want to go over exactly the top funds that are buying uranium, exactly what stocks that they have already had and what they might have been selling. So this will be a pretty interesting video if you want to see that. We're going to jump first into the uranium sheet. It's my uranium sheet here. I track it, all the uranium stocks in this, and as you saw before in my Discord, I track everything related to uranium as well as the stock market. But it's a place you can get hold of me if you want to, want access to this sheet here. But the two stocks I was talking about, Anfield and UEX, they're actually up pretty good the last day. As uranium price goes up, these stocks will continue to go up. Now I want to jump into the top uranium funds as well as investors. Now, this isn't all of them, but this is a good amount here. This is the total assets. Now, some of these are funds that are less, they're actually passive, so they're not going to be trading in and out of uranium stocks, but there's going to be some interesting ones here. As you notice, some of these names, if you follow uranium, you'll notice, Paradise, Sachem Cove. Right here, we're going to jump into them. Sachem Cove Partners, if you know Mike Alkin, 26 million is what it's saying right now. These are what's listed now, because in the US, hedge funds that are less than, I think it's like maybe it's like 3.5 billion now. They don't have to, it's a lot less reporting that they're gonna have to do, but in Australia, there's a lot more reporting. So you see here, I like this, a lot of the stocks, I've talked about before, Peninsula, they do have, a fair amount, 4 million shares, $500,000 worth. I think they'll probably start to add. That was from a couple years ago, but something that they have sold recently was some Paladin. The stock was trading, 1,500% since last year. So as you know, it's okay to take profits. As you know that Paladin was a big runner last uranium market. But we've got, a couple other uranium stocks, Lotus, Vimy. I didn't actually know they were in those two stocks. That was kind of a change for me. Bannerman and Boss Energy, they still hold as well, fairly large amount, obviously in Boss there. And I think this one has a good upside, but one thing, if you do start to see a lot of funds holding a big amount, they can really drop the stock, as we've seen in some stocks lately. If you follow, I think GoVX has had some issues. We're going to go over to Sprott here. So Sprott, this is about $2 billion. This is a lot of different stocks in Sprott. Now, there's a bunch of different, Sprott, I think, holds a lot of different portfolios. But one interesting thing about this was back in February, they had sold some of their deep yellow. So if you don't know, Sprott, heavy ties in the past, obviously, with Rick Rule. So they invested in Paladin. Now all of Paladin and team is now at deep yellow. So that was, surprising that they were going to be selling. But if you remember, Rick Rule was saying that a lot of these junior uranium stocks were already overvalued. Another one, Boss Energy, they had sold everything out in April. So they had sold all their shares. So that was another one. I had agreed with them. Boss was overvalued. And some smaller ones, it looks like here. This is all by memory, by the way, because I study these uranium stocks, so by memory, I think they have a couple more. Fission 3.0, very small, obviously, just very small amount. But you know, this is just Sprott. It's nothing too crazy. They do have, so Sprott, they actually loaned UEX about $21 million. So they have 73 million shares of UEX now. That'll eventually come out here. Exchange Traded Concepts LLC. They hold a lot of uranium, but they've been selling. So this is all updated on the 30th. So Paladin, you know, 7 million worth. This is in shares here. So they have $18 million, I think is what this is in USD. Yep. And another big one, well, not really necessarily big, but they were selling Bannerman and Deep Yellow, which we'd seen those stocks start to correct a little bit in the last month, you know, starting to go down. Peninsula, they actually added Vimy as well. So, you know, it's kind of interesting to see the way these are balancing in the past, you know, month. And you see a lot of these stocks have gone down, and now you're saying, okay, that's why they've gone down, or they might have been going up because, you know, bigger funds, you know, they're balancing their books, they're buying stuff. You know, Yellow Cake PLC looks like they've got rid of some shares. Same thing with Paladin. CGN Mining was another one. Looks like what they added to Boss in this is their portfolio, same company, and same small amount with Fission. So, you know, they own a lot of other stuff, a lot of other stocks, but, you know, down below here. But we're just concentrating on uranium. Another thing here we can see that, like I said, it doesn't track everything, but a lot of investors were increasing positions and some were selling here. If you notice, if you know, like me, I know the names of these uranium CEOs and management, but Wayne Healy, and he's from Peninsula, and the stock that, you know, I covered, you know, it was under 7 cents, and it had a really good run. It ran to, you know, 15 plus cents US, but the company kind of went back on their word. They said they were going to not capital raise. They wouldn't have to because they had long-term contracts, but they did. So it kind of killed the run. Wayne sold some shares here, and who else? David Coyne as well. Small amount of shares. I mean, it's not crazy amount, but it's the last thing you want is your management in a stock, like a small stock like that, to be selling. You know, there's some other bigger, you know, buys here. Like I said, these are a lot of these, like BlackRock. This is just a passive fund. But, you know, this information is out there. It's not 100% accurate. It's not something you should base your investment off of, but it is good to see. Remember, the uranium portfolios, they're going to balance them. So it's going to be very volatile in uranium. I put this up about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. I wanted to say, what will happen first? Spot uranium to 45, market correction, or Dow to 40,000? Looks like right now a lot of people thinking market correction. We'll see how this goes in the next day. But the market just opened. Another thing, we'll check this out. Let's see. So yeah, we're down 0.5%. It looks like the stock futures were, and the Dow was dropping because Thursday after Wall Street closed in the red. Day before, following minutes from the Fed meeting showed the federal officials are likely to reduce stimulus this year, although there has been a range of views regarding the pace of tapering asset purchases. Most officials noted that it would be appropriate to start reducing the pace of asset purchases soon. We knew this was going to happen. We know interest rates are going to have to go up. The market, you know, uranium, I really hope we can continue this run, you know, this run in the stock market. You know, we're still near all-time highs, you know, as uranium starts to go up. You know, do I think that we could hit 40,000? Like I said, in that, possibly. You know, what's the Fed gonna do? Are they gonna battle inflation? Who knows, you know, but I wanted to talk, kind of keep this still on uranium investors. Another big investor that I know in uranium, like close to $20 million worth, is Lewis Morgan. I did an interview with him if you want to check out that video. He owns about 13 to 15 uranium stocks. He's been adding some recently as well. I think he said he added some more UEX down at this price. So, that's pretty good. Good amount of investors, loading uranium. I think as the price goes up and uranium is a little bit easier to invest in, as this, uranium stock prices go over $1 or over $5, you'll start to see a lot of funds start to move in there, and a lot of funds maybe moving into the spot uranium purchasing, because we saw that in the previous bull market. A lot of investors started to come over, and these stocks in this stock sheet, if you want to see, I track not only just the prices but also the grades, the presentations, pretty much everything, data that I collect about them, all 70 plus uranium stocks. It's a great overview. If you want to get access to that, and you want to be involved more in uranium, you can check out my Discord. You can check out my link below in the Patreon. That'll give you access to this sheet, the Discord. And it's a lot of fun tracking uranium. Last video you saw how much just a small investment, if you time it right, can change, not only change your life, it can put you on the Forbes list someday. That's what Lewis is looking to be at, investing in not only uranium, but just overall in the markets. But remember, this isn't financial advice. It's very volatile in the market, especially in uranium. But if you need, if you want to invest in uranium, you're going to need, data. You're going to need to study this stuff. And I like to, with my Discord, I like to take a lot of that data and just mine it there. The uranium prices, all info about uranium I put in there so I can go and search it. You guys can go and search it, and you can track uranium. You're gonna need that. There's gonna be hundreds of more uranium stocks coming out that were gold mining stocks, and when that happens, it's gonna be a lot harder to track these. A lot more funds will come in. They'll start to mess up, or not mess up. They'll start to mess with, their balancing, and it really could be pretty volatile, in this market. But as spot uranium goes up, as I've said time and time again, uranium is going to be a great investment. Commodities, I think, are going to be a great investment as the markets start to shift around and they start tapering. There's going to be less stimulus money, I think, coming in the next year, if we do get any. Rates are going to start to go up probably in the next couple years. So uranium, I think, is a great investment, but got to do your due diligence. I'm going to continue to put this info out there for you guys. But please hit that like and subscribe button below and let me know, what do you think about these big funds that have invested in uranium? You think they're going to dump it all? Let me know below. Until next time.